I don't want to talk about this article, folks, but it came up on my radar yesterday, and I didn't see anybody mentioning this story at all. And being a former Marvel comic books fan, now I still do read the old stories from yesteryear because there's still great stories that, for the majority, and in fact I'll probably say even completely, Marvel ignored. I would say with Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, they did incorporate things like John Romita Jr.'s telling of Spider-Man No More, as we saw in Spider-Man 2. But today, folks, it's a bit more different. It's something that's punched me in the gut. And honestly, you take an iconic superhero like The Thing, aka Ben Grimm, and he's told by an irate fan in the latest iteration in a comic book series called
It's Clobbering Time!
Ben Grimm is a privileged white male. I kid you not.
Rewind.
So folks, in this article from Bleeding Cool, one of the most wokest websites out there, Clobbering Time #2 preview, The Thing confronts his privilege. Are you kidding me? I mean, this is the reason why comic books have declined in sales. It's bad enough that you go to your favorite movie at the cinema and to be given woke messaging all the way through, because if you're a normie, you might ignore content creators like me out there who are warning you what's in these films ahead. You might not care, and that's fair enough, but I tell you what, later on in life, folks, you might get that thing called brain damage. So if I scroll down, this is going to get very, very cringe, folks. Now we have this picture here, this poster of Logan and Ben Grimm. And you know, it's very easy to see why Ben Grimm is probably the most popular member of the Fantastic Four, just like Wolverine is the most popular member of that entourage called the X-Men. Yes, Victoria Alonso, they are still the X-Men. So basically the story is Ben Grimm, he's going on like a world tour, so to speak, or even an intergalactic tour, meeting up with his fans because our poor Benjamin Grimm is dying. And he was at this lecture, and one of these audience members stood up and says the following. Brace yourself, folks, because I'm going to get a very spitting migraine very, very shortly. So this lady, all covered in rocks, not a cosplayer, she's born like The Thing, says the following. My communities, so already you've committed a felony there by saying the C word, it should be realm or fellowship, effect on the world and the wider universe is paramount to me. Generally, the Fantastic Four's work is perceived as altruistic, yet my people's efforts are still met with derision and fear. It goes on further to say, are disparate, conflicting legacies inevitable, or is an integration of agendas possible for the superhuman and mutant populations? So Ben retorts, anything's possible. I don't know what the future holds. I hope I can help leave this world a little better than I found it. I'm always trying to find out common ground, you know? I mean, look at us. You're rocks, I'm rocks, same underneath. Am I right? You betcha. Now at this point, Ben Grimm comes out with some very invaluable information, like underneath the makeup, we're still the same person underneath, right? And then this insufferable cow comes out with this diatribe narrative. Respectively, sir, you were a cis white male until cosmic rays turned you into the Thing. Your societal estrangement, while distressing, I'm sure, was relatively short-lived. These days, you're a world-famous superhero. You've had dalliances with models and starlets. You're currently wedded to a 2-time National Medal of the Arts winner. It gets very sad here, folks. She goes on to say, I was born like this and abandoned in a dumpster as an infant. I lived in the wild like an animal until I was 10. False equivalencies help no one, sir. Thank you. To which Ben Grimm says, that's not what I meant. I just mean, you know, what I say. So again, the former cis white male has been ridiculed and he's made to look stupid on stage by this insufferable cow in the audience, who I guess might be jealous of Ben's success because he found love. You know what? She talks about Ben's dalliances with starlets and models. I mean, his most famous girlfriend, of course, is Alicia Masters, a white redheaded woman. And of course, what do they do with her in the film? Or the Fantastic Four, they had to race swap her. But back then, I guess to give Tim Story a bit of kudos maybe, to give him a bit of a pass. It was 2005. Superhero films weren't really a big thing, so nobody really cared what the color of Ben Grimm's girlfriend was. But I guess if they're resurrecting the Fantastic Four now, that might come into play a little bit more. Who knows? But the red-headed white female is being ostracized from Hollywood. But the guy who created this miniseries, It's Clobbering Time, is somebody called Steve Sokres. He's Canadian, Croatian in heritage, and I guess Steve is a fairly talented artist. I don't really rate the illustrations here that much, but maybe he was bullied at school. Maybe he didn't have that inclusion that he was looking for. Who knows? He might have been the geek who was stuck in the corner. Now look, from my personal experience, I grew up very insecure about my looks. I wasn't really great with the ladies. It was only when I got older and I just changed my appearance and going to the gym and having a more positive outlook on life, things started to turn around. And you know what? I met a bevy of beautiful women over the years. I've snogged a few. I've slept with a couple here and there. But overall, folks, I've just had a great time. I didn't let my past keep me down. I thought, you know what? Somewhere out there's going to be some lovely ladies who want a bit of the Jason loving. And I don't apologize for that. And if I were Ben Grimm, aka The Thing, I too would be loving it up with starlets and having dalliances with models from Instagram, from TikTok, as long as they're above the legal age. And this bitch here who goes on about, well, I was left in a dumpster and by the time I was 10, oh, shut up. She's turned into a feral animal at this point. There you have it, folks. It's bad enough that Ben Grimm is dying, that he's ostracized and lambasted by this female in the audience. I know, folks, the irony has not escaped me. This is a comic book. These are made-up comic book characters, but it's part of folklore, folks. It is part of pulp culture, something that is very passionate to me. And of course, if you want to know what Ben Grimm looked like before he became The Thing, that's him right here. And what a shocker. A red-headed male. I do wonder, folks, if Mila Kunis is going to be cast as Ben Grimm, or what is the opposite of what is the female version of Ben? It'll probably be Brenda Grimm, or who cares? At this stage, maybe they might just keep her as Ben, but she's a female, because you know, 2023 and the LGBT message is all out there, folks. And speaking of LGBT, it makes me laugh, right, that at King Charlie's coronation yesterday, he was talking about diversity, talking about inclusion, but did you see anybody from the LGBTQIA posse in the audience or being represented on the big screen in front of an audience of 500 million people? No, I didn't see them either. So I think King Charlie might be telling a few porkies there, or maybe he's letting us in on how the royals really feel about that narrative going forward. So on that one, folks, if you enjoyed this video today, make sure you clobber that like button. Make sure you slap that subscribe button. And if I were you, and if you were me, you better come back for the next video.
It's clobbering time!
Toss a